Lakeshore News Tonight is brought to you in part by Community Healthcare Systems, Scapel, and Strachan Van Til.
On the last episode of Built to Last the Green Home, we installed bamboo wood flooring in the main living areas and tile in the laundry room and around our upstairs fireplace. Today, we'll focus on the elements that will make our kitchen and bathrooms functional and beautiful, so stay tuned.
Support for Built to Last is provided by
Unico Incorporated, manufacturers of the small duct high-velocity HVAC Unico system. Unico is dedicated to the environment and has been serving residential and commercial customers around the corner and around the globe for more than 25 years.
Great Northern Lumber, providing green construction materials from skyscrapers to residential remodel. Proud to serve you for the last 27 years and into the future in the lumber industry.
Bosch, power tools for professionals. Proud sponsor of The Green Home. Florida Tile. Expect more. SPI Incorporated, protective coatings, proven performance, and real-world solutions for 24 years. Additional funding is provided by these firms.
For some people, all it takes is a beautiful kitchen or bathroom to sell them on a home. Fortunately, we'll be working to make both our kitchen and bathroom something special. Today, we'll be installing our cabinet, tiles, fixtures, and more. So let's get started. We'll begin this episode with the bathroom install. As always, what you don't see is just as important as what you do see. Our bathroom install began in an earlier phase of interior construction when our team installed a waterproof system that will ensure a durable tiled shower.
If you're installing tile, you'll want something that's more, they call like a cementitious board. They call it a tile backer board. It's gray, it's very heavy. The other option is to use the board that we've used here in this project, which has a fiberglass face and a foam core. It's very sturdy, very dimensionally stable, and it's going to support our tile for a long time to come yet. And the great thing is mold does not like to eat it, which is a great thing for your indoor air quality.
We went in first and we hung our Curdy board onto the 2x4 trusses or joists. Then we banded all the seams there because we want to make it water and vapor tight. So we use our band, it's a 5-inch band, and we install it with thin set mortar. And we band the seams up, basically making that water and vapor tight. Then we went to the floor. We installed the pre-sloped tray on the floor. We have different size pre-sloped trays that you install with thin set mortar. You can cut the trays down if the cavity is smaller than the tray size, and you can also add to the tray if the cavity is larger than the tray size. So you have quite a bit of freedom both with that and with our board products. You can make alterations on the fly, so to speak, when you're on a job, because not all conditions are perfect. So you get to make some alterations in that area where normally if you have a product that's specifically built for that cavity, you have no margin for error there. We thin setted that in, then we put the bonding flange in, which is the base of the drain, the bottom half of the drain. Then we installed membrane over that. Then we banded it up with the same banding that we were talking about earlier, and then now we have a watertight assembly there. Then we installed the curb, wrap the curb, and we're done. So once the tile setting takes place, we will install the drain grate as we set the tile. That way we know we have a perfect flush drain in the shower, no high edges draining, no water retention. The idea behind this is basically we're creating a water and vapor tight assembly to to install tile or stone over, so we're protecting all the wood components around it that are the basic structural components of the showers. We go to great lengths to protect the outside of our homes and the structures from moisture, from rain. And we're here in the Midwest, which sees an average of 20 to 30 inches of rain a year. Standard average shower use, so 12-minute shower with a 2.5 gallon a minute shower head, we'll see 1,100 inches of water in a year per person. So you can do the math on that if you're a family of 4. Look at how many inches of water this structure, this part of your house is seeing. So obviously we want to protect it as much as possible because it's in close proximity with the building structure, which is wood. So we want to protect this wood and we want to protect everything connected to it.
This is actually a new product for me, but from my standpoint as a Green Raider, the fact that it's fiberglass faced, mold doesn't like it, and it's going to be dimensionally stable and strong enough for tile, that's the most important thing from my perspective.
Now in this phase of construction, we can add texture, color, and style to our bathrooms. Our tile setters can now begin installing tile on the floors and in the showers.
Tile setters on site. We've kind of evaluated the situation. We've got a number of areas where the tile's going in, shower pans, things like that. They have to be flood tested before the installation can actually start.
We put a plug in the drain and fill up the mud pan all the way up to the curb and around the perimeter. Let it sit overnight, make sure nothing leaks, make sure the water's in the same place that it started, and everything's good. No leaks, it was good.
There's a number of situations that we have to address before the tile goes in. One of the things is we're going with a pre-finished hardwood floor. With that, we have a cork underlayment. So in order to avoid some transitions at the doors between the two materials, we have to build up our bathroom floors about a 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch to pick up that difference depending on which location and the tile thickness. So before we can even start the tile work, the tile setters will go in to cover the floor with the Durock material. Since it's a cement board, it won't impact our radiant heat. That's something that we have to be very well aware of because we want to make sure we're always able to transmit that through the floor. So the cement board is a great transmitter for the radiant heat, so there won't be any issues there. And we're only talking about maybe a 1/4 inch thickness anyway.
We went with 1/4 inch Durock, put it in with Care Elastic. It's a grid system and you square off the room, make sure everything's good, and once it's all laid out, you can start installing. Stay off the same corner and everything lines up perfect. All your grout lines stay consistent. You look down the floor and it looks like someone's holding a piece of string down the grout line.
Now that our tile substrate is down and everything's waterproof and sealed, we're ready for our tile installation.
So the type of tile that you install is very important for the application. I mean, some tiles are more applicable for exterior use, some are more applicable for wall or for floor use. And the problem is, too, that there's an automatic assumption that, oh, tile's tile. But unless you actually look at how the manufacturer has tested it and for the application, you open yourself up for all sorts of issues.
Now that the flooring's done, it's time to move on to installing the walls in the bathrooms.
When you're dealing with wood framing and construction, a lot of times that quality of wood and things like that, everything never is truly plumb and level. So there always are some variances that'll have to be addressed on the job. And what the tile setter will do is he'll look and kind of point these areas out, and either float the areas with his mud bed or shim it out and stuff to make things tried and true.
You put your level on the wall to see if there's any high spots, low spots that stick out. Because you want to make sure you can put it in plumb off the floor, and if 3 or 4 feet up, there's a spot that sticks out for some reason, you cannot make up the difference. You can't push it in any farther. So it's very important that you check for the part that sticks out the farthest to know where you have to be when you get to that point. And that's where the level comes in handy that, you know, you put it on there, you're level, you're plumb, you know you're gonna hit exactly where you need to be. After you found your high spot on the wall, in order to make up the difference so it all comes out flat and plumb, some areas have more mortar, some areas have less. That's why most people put a tile on the wall, see where they're at, they take it back off, put more mud on it, and then put it back on and put it in place.
We're trying to be very conscientious about the products we use in a home, and that even takes into account the mud and grouts that we're using for our tile installation. So the setting bed we're using is no VOCs, and we're making sure it's mold resistant, because that becomes an important part, especially when they're in the wet areas for shower and tub surrounds.
After the tile is installed and the adhesive has cured for the proper amount of time, our team can apply the epoxy-based grout. This product is a low VOC material and is also resistant to mold. The grout is pressed into the spaces with a tile float and then wiped clean with the float and a wet sponge. We don't have to apply a sealer to our grout, so we can start our cabinet installation as soon as it dries, according to our manufacturer's specifications.
Tile setter just wrapped up doing the tile work for our bathrooms. The shower walls and enclosures are done, the floors are done, everything's grouted, everything looks great. He did a great job. Lines look plumb and level, and so at this point we're ready to start the installation of our cabinets.
There's different types of cabinets on the market, as far as there's what they consider a box cabinet, and then there's a semi-custom cabinet, and then there's a full-blown custom cabinet. In this house, there was value engineering thought forward on the design of this home so that we could use semi-custom cabinets. So that it became easier to manufacture, easier to get the product, more time effective, more cost effective. But that every home isn't always value engineered. Kitchen remodeling, usually go in and that's where you'd have to use a full-blown custom cabinet most of the time. The process in this home, if we back up a little bit, first off, as a kitchen designer, I meet with the customer to find out what they want. We look at the blueprints that are produced by the architect. We take that space that's available, then we find out where the appliances go and what their needs and likes are. So as a kitchen designer, I work that all in. And then once the order is processed and ordered and the cabinets show up, they're delivered on site, typically into the garage. And the next thing that would happen is that you take the drawings that I produce with 2020 design program. It's a computer generated drawing and design. Give the installation crew supervisor that drawing, and then he will take and start marking on the wall where the cabinets go. And then he'll find the studs where the cabinets will be screwed to. You drill a hole through the back of the cabinet and screw that cabinet into the studs. And then the cabinet face frames are screwed together. Between each cabinet, the face frames get screwed together, plumb, level, square. And basically that's how you get the whole thing going.
So Jay, you're finishing up with the cabinets here.
Yeah, the installer's just got done putting this in, so I was just putting the last drawer in. It has that nice soft close feature on it.
Yeah, it's a great feature.
It really is. I love the hardware. So, we got countertops are going to be measured tomorrow.
Okay.
So that's going to be nice.
So turnaround pretty quick on those?
Turnaround's going to be about a week and a half. And they'll come and measure them, and then they'll make them up in their shop, bring them back and install them. They're getting undermount sinks from what I understand.
Right, we'll have those on site tomorrow.
Awesome. So they can take a look at those. That's great.
So.
And we got a nice tall cabinet here.
Yeah, great storage here.
Yeah, it really laid out nice with the double bowls. And I have to say, the value engineering in this house was great. With the space that we were able to use a semi-custom cabinet rather than having to use a custom cabinet or a box cabinet with wide fillers. And this worked out really nice. It looks great.
It's more to get the use out of the cabinet than filler strips.
Absolutely, you got it. Well, thanks again. And we'll talk about the countertops.
Sounds great. All our cabinets are installed. Everything looks great. They're all trimmed out, ready to go. We're going to rough fit our appliances, make sure everything fits in there, and we have our clearances so we can get the template set for the countertops. So once we make sure we meet all our clearances, we can come out and do our measurements and templates and get the countertops set and ready for fabrication. What we selected for countertops were a solid surface material, which a lot of them now have recycled content in it and low VOCs, no adhesives that create any off gases or things like that. And those are things that you want to keep in mind with the selection of these materials.
Countertop people will show up, they bring their own levels, you have to check everything, because if the countertop's not set level, it could crack. And you don't want water running off on the floor. So then they'll template. Some people use a laser templating device that hooks up to a computer, and they'll just shoot laser points around and automatically makes up a template. Most people, however, use cardboard or styrofoam, and they'll lay it on top of the cabinets and mark the center line of the sink out, the center line of this cooktop, and then mark the splashes and which ends are finished and so on and so forth. And then they'll take those back to their shop, and they're going to actually pour their own material and mold their own material. And they will make the seams, and then they come back and install everything.
So now, how much would you overhang here then? Is this pretty much what it's been, like an inch and a half? Or
this is 2 inch.
Okay.
And see, normally we do a 1/2 inch material here.
Okay.
We have an 1.5 inch overhang. The reason why we do an 1.5 inch overhang is if you do a bull nose, you'll reveal the top of that piece.
Okay.
If you want that less.
No, I don't want it less. That's why I was going to say, because when the tile, you're talking about 3/8, because we're a travertine.
Yeah, you probably.
So we're going to be like probably about 3/8.
Okay.
So
you'll
you're
still
an inch and a half.
Yeah. So you'll be symmetrical here and here.
Okay. So I mean, the way that terminates at the end there is fine. So
No splash here, no splash. Well, you do.
right, yeah, no, there'll be
This is a solid surface, which is different than a stone product or a manufactured stone product. The benefits are that you can seam this material together with a mechanical bonding adhesive, and then you sand that seam smooth and you polish it. The seam becomes inconspicuous. We can't say it's invisible. We have to say inconspicuous. But then that basically becomes a very smooth work surface. Where if you use a stone product, where they seam it, they'll put an epoxy in there. Although it may look very nice, it's still a seam. And with this solid surface material, if somebody scratches it or dings it or even burns it, 5 years from now, the manufacturer can come back and repair the countertop. They can sand the scratches out, or they can cut a section out and patch and put a repair in there and polish it back down. So it's got a lot of nice advantages. Plus, solid surface to me is easier to work on as a chef, as a cook. It's more forgiving. If you drop a wine glass or a plate on stone, it's going to shatter. On your solid surface, it's a little more friendly on things like that.
Our plumber's going to be coming back. Since everything's set, our cabinets are in place. He's going to be installing the faucets, fixtures, sinks, and things like that. The rest of the things that need to be done are up to him.
We're back at the house. We're ready to trim it out. First things we're doing is put all the shutoffs on it, underneath all the fixtures. Then we're ready to set all the faucets, the lavs in the bathrooms, the toilets, shower trims.
All our fixtures that are being installed today are low flow, low use water consumption fixtures, and it's being installed throughout the house.
So everything that we've installed, lavatories, shower heads, as well as the toilets, all meet this program called WaterSense. And it's been around since about the summer of 2006. And they say on average, WaterSense labeled products perform about 20% better than conventional fixtures. For our project, we're at 1.75 gallons per minute on the showers. We have dual flush toilets, and then the lavatory faucets are at 1.5 gallons per minute. It's not like we're restricted to any one product or any one manufacturer, and what's great is our aesthetic isn't affected, but we still meet our requirements for water efficiency.
Our faucets and fixtures look great and will help our residents conserve water. Our home has just a few of the models that will help save water and money. So let's take a look at some more fixtures to learn what new technologies are being implemented to help reduce water usage. So we're here in the showroom talking to Garrett about water-saving products. Garrett, why is saving water so important?
Well, Amy, we waste so much water in the United States every single year. So there's a program called WaterSense, which was developed by the EPA on how to save a lot of that water. The 36 states this year will be reporting water shortages, so there's a lot of different ways that we can save water. 1.6 billion gallons of water every single year is flushed away just with inefficient toilets. So there's a lot of things we can do, from faucets to toilets, to help save some of that water. Want to take a look at a few?
Absolutely. So Garrett, I know we have some of the water savings faucets in our home. Could you tell me about this?
Absolutely. So this may look just like a normal faucet, but a lot of manufacturers are actually building into the products water saving just from the get-go. So normally faucets like this are probably about 2 gallons a minute. On a WaterSense labeled faucet, you're down to about 1.5, saving a little bit of water every single minute that you're using the faucet. What a lot of people don't realize is you can actually purchase an aerator to reduce that even more, down to 1 or 0.5 gallons per minute. The reason why that's important is some people are actually trying to go for these LEED certified homes, which is in partnership with the WaterSense to save even more water, and those aerators will also get you to that point as well.
Wow, this toilet is really different than what I'm used to seeing.
I bet. And the reason for that, Amy, is this is a new dual flush toilet. This flushes a lot less water than we're used to. Toilets back in the day used to flush 3.5 gallons of water every single time you flush. Every single time. So toilet tanks don't need to be that big anymore. Even a normal flushing toilet today flushes 1.28 gallons a minute, which gets us that WaterSense label like we talked about before. This dual flush toilet, for example, actually has 2 options for flush. There's actually buttons on the top that we call actuators that are options for a full flush or a half flush. It's 1.6 or 0.8 gallons of water. Huge water savings. For a family of 4, that's about 17,000 gallons every single year.
And that's just one family times millions.
Just one family. The other great thing about having the tanks be smaller is it's a design feature. Who wants the toilet to be this massive thing in the bathroom as a focal point? Nobody. So that's pretty great.
Well, this is so cool.
Absolutely. How about we look at some other cool things?
All right.
Okay, Amy, now these products are really exciting and very cool. Plumbing doesn't have to be very boring anymore. This is actually a new shower head that has a speaker built into it. It's actually Bluetooth. The speaker inside is actually removable. You can take that to the garden, to the beach, wherever you want to go. You sync your Bluetooth device, which could be a smartphone or some sort of MP3 player, and you can actually sync it, set your playlist, set the volume. It's magnetic. It goes back into the shower head. It recharges through a USB port. No worries about batteries. And you've got a shower in your bathroom with music.
That is unbelievable.
And this is actually WaterSense labeled as well. There's a version that's 2.5 gallons a minute, and there's another version that's 2 gallons a minute. So always that water savings availability. The other product we have is really cool. This is getting us into the world of digital showering. What's nice about it is you have the option to set your temperature to whatever you desire, so every single time you go into the bathroom, you go to your same temperature without having to adjust it. It has a feature that's actually called warm up and pause. If you live in an older home or a high-rise building that might take a couple minutes to get you to that perfect temperature, what'll happen is you can throw some dishes in the dishwasher, the water will run, pause. Once it hits your desired temperature, you can come back to your shower, get all the way in there, hit go, and you're ready, and you're set. The water's right where you need it to be. The other thing that's pretty great is it's got a built-in diverter. So if you've got something like a hand shower and a shower head in the same shower, you can go back and forth between the two or have both of them on at the same time, which is a pretty nice way to do that. It's also a cleaner look. Instead of having all those knobs and levers that you need to adjust and move around through the shower, this is a much cleaner look. It's more sleek, and who doesn't like a little technology in the bathroom too?
These products are amazing, Garrett. Thank you so much for showing us what's possible in water savings. I'm sure our residents will appreciate the work that went into our kitchen and baths for years to come. Now that the interior is complete, let's focus on making the outdoor space appealing. So join us next time as we start landscaping on Built to Last, the Green Home.
Visit the Built to Last website to learn about these topics and more.
Support for Built to Last is provided by
Unico Incorporated, manufacturers of the small duct high-velocity HVAC Unico system. Unico is dedicated to the environment and has been serving residential and commercial customers around the corner and around the globe for more than 25 years.
Great Northern Lumber, providing green construction materials from skyscrapers to residential remodel. Proud to serve you for the last 27 years and into the future in the lumber industry.
Bosch, power tools for professionals. Proud sponsor of The Green Home. Florida Tile. Expect more. SPI Incorporated, protective coatings, proven performance, and real-world solutions for 24 years. Additional funding is provided by these firms.